6 o'clock, so we're going to bring our November 10th City Council meeting to order. We will begin with roll call, please.
Sarchett?
Here.
Savage?
Here.
Walters?
Here.
Vogel? Here. Otis?
Here.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
And roll call.
Savage?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Vogel? Yes. Otis?
Yes.
Sarchett?
Yes.
Moving on to item number 4, which is a public hearing. It's time to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing for the proposal to vacate city-owned property located near East Northside Drive. When was the notice published?
October 31st, 2025.
Have we had any written comments received for or against a proposal to vacate city-owned property located near East Northside Drive?
No, sir.
At this time then, I'd like to request staff to provide a report. Travis?
So for council's consideration tonight is an ordinance vacating city-owned right-of-way out on East Northside Drive. This will be the third parcel along East Northside Drive. As of right now, approximately, I would say 3/4 of that frontage is wider than our current city standards for right-of-way. And in an effort to minimize the amount of city-owned excess property that we have, we've been vacating those excess right-of-ways along there and replacing them with the appropriate easements. For this particular vacation, it amounts to an approximately 20-foot wide strip. It varies a little bit, but it hovers between about 19.5 feet up to about 21.5 feet in width. This vacation is part of the larger subdivision, and since we're doing this as part of the first plat, this is the vacation of all of that excess right-of-way across the whole property. As part of tonight's council action, we're holding the public hearing and the first reading. At the next council meeting, assuming the first one goes through, we would do the second reading, and then we will hold the third reading at such time the developer is ready to take that final plat through. That piece of the puzzle is really important because as part of the final plat, we'll establish all the proper overland flow easements, sidewalk easements, franchise utility and PUE easements, all those kinds of things that will replace the same rights and obligations for different existing facilities within that area, but then we can get that right-of-way vacated and have less excess property that the city owns. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about this vacation.
Questions? No questions? All right then, anyone present who wishes to be heard for or against the proposal to vacate city-owned property located near East Northside Drive? I need a motion then to close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Vogel?
Yes.
Otis?
Yes.
Sarchett?
Yes.
Savage?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Item 4A1 then, I need a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2025-1300, approving the vacation of city-owned property. A motion and a second?
So moved?
Second.
And roll call.
Sarchett?
Yes.
Savage?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Vogel?
Yes.
Otis?
Yes.
Thank you, Travis. Moving on to item number 5, public comments. This is the time and place for comments for any item other than those that are a public hearing. Have we had any cards, Susan?
No, sir.
Nobody in the audience that wishes to speak? Consent items then, item number 6. I'll ask for a motion and a second to approve the consent items, please.
So moved. Second.
And roll call.
Walters? Who was that? Did you make? Oh, sorry, Otis. Otis?
Yes.
Sarchett?
Yes.
Savage?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Vogel?
Yes.
Moving on to item number 7, business items. A, resolution authorizing and approving a certain loan agreement providing for the issuance of general obligation urban renewal bonds, Series 2025A, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same. Andrew.
Hello. This resolution authorizes and approves a loan agreement for the issuance of $5,305,000 of General Obligation Urban Renewal Bonds, Series 2025A, and provides for a levy of taxes to repay the debt. The City's Council action finalizes the bond sale, approving the loan agreement and authorizing the repayment through the property taxes if other revenue sources are unavailable. Although the bonds are backed by the city's general obligation, the city intends to repay them entirely with tax increment financing, should state law change regarding TIF, tax increment financing. The council may need to consider using the debt service levy for repayment. The bonds have a face value of $5.3 million and a total value of approximately $5.6 million due to a premium received at sale. Of this $5.5 million will fund the project, $45,000 will go to the underwriter, and $79,000 will cover cost of issuance. That is.
Thanks, Andrew. Council, you have any questions of Andrew?
No questions, I don't think, but I will make some comments. So I've kind of gone back and forth if anybody's paying attention to the whole string of approvals here, and spent some time thinking about this, and I still am struggling with some pieces, but the road in particular, I do not believe is a need at this point. However, I know the need is there for the park. So coming down with that combination of coming down to 5.3 versus the up to 6 amount that was originally approved, and TIF financing, to the extent that I'm gaining more understanding on how that works, understand the basic pieces, but trying to understand the implications and the forecast of how reliable the current structure is, which nobody can know. I think this gives us as good of a plan as we can for this. I do think, in talking to Chelsea today, I would have liked a better close to the loop on the committee that was built over the first half of the year. And I think a notification on what we're doing now is good, but re-engaging that group as we move from the financing to the planning of the park, it makes a lot of sense, whether that's presentation of a plan or soliciting feedback on developing that. I know we got a lot of good ideas from them as to how things lay out, and just try to maximize what we're spending out there. First dollars are always the most difficult to come by. So getting this executed and implemented as tightly as possible is a big piece. And I don't want to undersell how big of a step this is. We've had a lot of efforts to get something done, and this being the final route here after, I don't know, 12 years of proposals, and that is a big thing. And I know it's a lot of money, but I do really believe in the investment here. So coming around on the approval.
Anything else from council?
I have something real quick. So I know I've been asked a few questions from residents regarding the loan for the park. Just to be clear, there's no direct increase to levies for our residents for this loan. We are going to be using TIF to pay it. So essentially, I'm trying to summarize it here, that their taxes are not going to go up because of the park directly. Is that a correct statement?
So with how TIF affects it, you lose money in your general fund, and the way we've played around with the other debts that you move to your urban renewal area, you move some of your city hall, some of your trails, we move some to the TIF fund. Effectively, it lowers our general fund by about $20,000 that we're going to absorb and not increase taxes for the park. There is going to be a maintenance portion of this that we're going to look at as we go into budget season, and operational. But as far as I'm aware right now, we're going to try and fund that through the general fund, but I'm not the city manager, so I only know so much.
Good enough. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay then, thank you, Andrew. Let's move on with 7A, resolution authorizing and approving a certain loan agreement providing for the issuance of general obligation urban renewal bonds, Series 2025A, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second, I guess?
Okay, and roll call.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Item B, Snyder and Associates, October 2025 Engineering Services invoice. We don't have a report on that. We'll ask for a motion and a second to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Otis,
yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Walters,
Abstain?
Vogel.
Yes.
Item C, first reading of ordinance 2025-1100, amending Chapter 91, water meters, Section 91.05, meter setting. Cody, you have a presentation here.
Good evening. A lot of this, had some discussion with Mike, is just kind of a improvement, I think, on the meter settings in Polk City. Right now, there's no general code provisions that determine how it can be installed. The ordinance would require copper piping directly after the valve to the meter and from the meter to the ceiling, just to help efficiency. We've run into several issues lately. Newer contractors, just with development, aren't used to our processes. This helps make that easier. We have a policy in place, if this is approved, showing what we want. With PEX piping now, it allows for a lot of movement that we can eliminate with copper. There's times where we go to set a meter, things have moved, shifted around, requires our public works department to either call a plumber there to fix it, to get it, to accept the meter, causing us to come back 2 or 3 times possibly. Just improves efficiency overall, making it a better setup, I think, moving forward for the homeowner and for public works, the city overall. So if you have any questions, happy to answer.
Anything of Cody?
So can you just help me understand it a little bit better, Cody? So PEX is the flexible plastic pipe, right? So can you speak to the challenges a little bit more? I'm having a hard time visualizing
Sure.
what the challenges are and what the inefficiencies are.
So the plumbers do the all rough. It's sitting there ready for our meters to install once they call us. It could be weeks after they do this where things settle out of place. The fittings with PEX also allow for movement. You could twist the pipe in circles. If it's at a 90, you could swing that other swivel area around. Just allows for a lot of manipulation. Even just the weight of it will pull it down to where your meter setting area is different than what it should be from when they left it. Whereas copper, it's a rigid setup, one side to the other, meant to accept the meter once they connect that. It just less movement overall.
So this change in the ordinance, does this mirror any other communities that have this?
There are several. I know the wording and verbiage from this is copied from Urbandale's basically on how they implement theirs, their water department. It's actually, I've talked to several contractors and plumbers and they're kind of surprised that there's nothing in place. So there's not really a surprise that it's potentially coming, so. I'd say it's a pretty common practice though around the metro.
Okay, thank you.
A motion and a second to approve first reading of ordinance 2025-1100, amending Chapter 91 water meters, Section 91.05, meter setting.
So moved?
Second.
And roll call.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Otis.
Yes.
Item D, first reading of ordinance 2025-1200, amending Chapter 135, street use and maintenance, Section 135.13, fine for placing debris on or dumping of snow. Cody?
Yeah. So this is one that Chelsea and I have worked on a little bit. This year, you all kind of know we've had some significant challenges with rainfall and erosion control amongst certain developments here in Polk City. The way our code currently reads, maximum of $45 fine for those instances. to get to the point of municipal infraction, you'd have to have 3 violations to get there. This kind of helps removing the verbiage of fine, going to penalty with some discretion there amongst the severity of these penalties, allows staff discretion to kind of help resolve these quicker than having to go through the routes of formal notifications and all of that. Happy to answer any questions, if there are any on this.
Any questions, council?
Well, just intuitively, so you talked about water, but the ordinance says debris and snow. Is that just referencing the section that it's in?
It basically, if you go into the chapter, if you go under debris, it defines kind of a wider range, which does include storm runoff.
Okay. That does seem to be, so developments, we long lamented, we have these swift water protection plans, and then that's if there's normal weather. Well, anytime there's heavy rains, forecasted or otherwise, it's this unforeseen thing, and we don't have the mechanism. We've had a couple, in my opinion, egregious examples where, basically city staff intervened and avoided a bad situation becoming a horrible situation as recently as this summer. So, I hope when people realize this, it doesn't specify to whom, but to me, the intent is more on those development-oriented projects where we get closer to the $750 a day, versus the $45 one-time thing is just not the deterrent that we need to protect. This is not a flat area, and rainfall comes in batches anymore than gentle rain. So, that's the piece that I'm, to the extent that you get excited about increasing fines, which I normally don't, I kind of am here.
I think too, as it states in the memo, there are gonna be a couple other follow-ups more intended for the illicit discharge. We're gonna look into that a little further just to kind of help define that, but this gets us a start, and at least if we run into those issues sooner than later.
No, that sounds great. So, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve unless anybody else says anything.
Second.
Roll call.
Walters?
Yes.
Vogel?
Yes.
Otis?
Yes.
Sarchet?
Yes.
Savage?
Yes.
Moving on to item 8, reports and particulars. Anything from staff? Hey, how about council? Okay, hearing none. Just congratulations to our city council candidates who won in the election this year. And as always, thank you to those 2 city council members who are leaving us. So with that, I guess I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We are adjourned until November 24th. Thanks, everybody.